She just told me that she was never going to be monogamous. Maybe I might want to be, in which case, like, this might end. And she was like, yeah, I just, as long as we stay friends. She was so open to whatever that, like, I couldn't really say no because we love each other. So I just, like, continued living my life and, like, still dating. Our relationship grew and I met other people. I guess I met some people that were looking for monogamous relationships and some people that weren't. And everybody that I met that was looking for a monogamous relationship, I was like, more and more, I guess I sort of came to the conclusion that I wasn't willing to give up the relationship that I had so that way I could have another one that was exclusive. And I realized I just didn't actually value the exclusivity of the relationship at all. But after a little bit, it just sort of made sense. I was like, okay, so this is what I'm doing now. And I'm quite happy with it. No, I was in a monogamous relationship before meeting Michelle. Like a very long one. Uh-huh. Lots of them in a row. Serial monogamy, yeah. Like roughly my whole life. Like, the better part of like 12 years jumping between maybe 4 relationships that lasted between 2 and 6 years. And it always like sort of went the same way too. Another thing that like attracted me to polyamory, I guess, was that your relationships with people sort of change, and having to have this like sort of expectation that society builds of your monogamous relationship that you're going to be in for the rest of your life. You're supposed to like continue to have sex all the time and like love each other in the same way, like not want to have sex with other people, and like, I don't know, like have kids or whatever it is. And I always like was doing great in monogamous relationships for a while, and then for whatever reason, something got worse. Like some part of the relationship deteriorated. And looking back on it, those weren't things that were like insurmountable. They were just the sort of things that like, like somebody wants to have sex more and the other person doesn't, or maybe like it's difficult because of just logistical stuff. Like one person's gonna go wants to go geographically this way and another person needs to go the other way. Or like, you were in school together and then school ends. And if you were practicing polyamory, those things wouldn't ruin your relationship at all. Like you would just, your relationship would change and you would still love each other and you would go on. Realizing that made me take polyamory serious as like a long-term prospect. It was like, all of these great relationships that I've had over the course of my life, and I have no regrets about them. I'm not one of those people that gets out of a relationship and is like, I wasted all this time on this relationship. No, like, you have like great times with people. The idea that I could have relationships like I've had in the past without getting out of them feeling like this sour feeling in my mouth, like that didn't work out like we wanted it to. Like now it's like you get into a relationship and it works out how it works out, and nobody's mad about it. That the biggest challenges of polyamory are jealousy and scheduling. Jealousy gets easier, scheduling doesn't. I'm like much less jealous than I used to be. It's not about like you're mad that somebody else is having a good time with somebody else. It's that you're scared that they like you less when they like somebody else also. Or like, you're scared that somebody's going to want to spend less time with you. Like you're worried about somebody who you're in a relationship with running away with somebody else and never seeing you again. And that just doesn't really happen. So there's that. And then the other challenge is definitely scheduling, which like sometimes causes some like bad blood when somebody fucks up scheduling and then somebody had to be in 2 places at one time and they can't. I would say that there's less challenges associated with polyamory than monogamy, especially in the long term. Like the challenges associated with monogamy is like,
what are those?
I want to have sex with you and you don't. Well, can I go have sex with somebody else? No. That seems like a bigger challenge. Oh, there's a lot of problems with monogamy. For me, anyway. Well, I'm prone to like losing myself in the relationship, in the sense that like you sort of become like two parts of one whole in a way that's maybe unhealthy, like a codependent sort of way. So like you start to like only do things together. Since practicing polyamory, I've had more time to myself, which is maybe counterintuitive, but when your partner is going off doing something else or is with somebody else or you're not living with a partner versus a situation where you've been living with a partner, the same partner, for quite a long time, and you fall into this routine where you're spending all of your time together for the most part. You're just like, well, work's done, let's watch TV together for 7 hours or something like that. That's gross. Because you're sort of sick of hanging out with each other so much, but you live with each other and you're supposed to love each other, so the only thing left to do is watch TV all the time. Well, there's Michelle, who's over there on the bed. You can't see her, but she's right over there. Jackie, I have been in a relationship with for almost a year. She doesn't live in the city anymore, so I don't see her as much as I used to. But we still talk to each other on the phone a lot, and she comes and visits, like... And she's polyamorous also, so this is, like, a pretty ideal situation. Like, I don't personally, like, want to get involved. Like, anymore, I've decided, like, I'm not going to try and get involved with anybody who's not already on board with polyamory. It's, like, too much of a hassle to try and pull somebody in. I told her I loved her really quick. I guess I feel like I've been around long enough to, like, know. I'm in sort of like a casual relationship with someone in DC named Laura. We go and see each other and stay over like every once in a while. So I don't believe that people like have like a limited amount of love to give. Just like that there's like a limited amount of time in anybody's schedule. So I guess like realistically having like two partners that you're seeing like a lot of the time is just plenty. Like, and after that you're like, you're not spreading your love too thin, but you're spreading your time pretty thin. It becomes difficult to like do things besides hang out with your partners. Like realistically, yeah, there's probably like a limit on the number of like partners that you're seeing on a regular basis. But like that doesn't mean that you don't have people that you love, that you care about, that are somewhere else, that you see sometimes. I don't know. I certainly don't have any rules outside of those that I have with Michelle. And those rules I feel like have sort of disappeared as the relationship goes on. And they were more like built out of my own insecurities at the start of the relationship. Like I want us to know where each other are for like safety purposes.
All the time?
Not all the like. I mean, like maybe not specifically. Like I don't really like. I either want to know where somebody is or know that they're with somebody that cares about them. Maybe like just so that way somebody doesn't fall off the face of the earth and it's like what happened to them. You get scared. Like, use protection with other people. It's nice if you get a heads up about like where if somebody's going to be with somebody, especially somebody new. But it's like not that big of a deal. It's just like mostly about like being communicative. And I was like a little bit jealous. Michelle had like a bunch of relationships going, some of them serious, some of them less so. And I was like frustrated that I was like, well, I like wanted to spend time with her and, her time was at a premium and mine wasn't really. So I was like, could you not take on any new serious partners for a while? And like, it's like, was maybe a little bit controlling in like a bad sort of way. I was just concerned that, like, if I was going to be committing to this relationship, I wanted to have time together. So I guess I wanted to, like, set out some rules from the beginning. And also I was just scared of the whole idea of polyamory. Yeah, I mean, we use protection, and we get tested on a regular basis. If I, like, have a new partner, and I'm not, like, one to, like, pick up casual sex partners too often. Like, I don't want to... I honestly just, like, don't want to be having sex with people that I'm not thinking that I'm going to have some sort of continuous ongoing relationship with. If I do have sex with a new partner, I usually, like, wait an incubation period and then go to get sense. That way, like, if I caught something from them, then that would show up in this test. So if I have sex with somebody new, I'm gonna go get tested 3 months later. As like this comes to be a more common practice, people are going to learn about it through their relationships with their friends and family who are practicing polyamory. I don't explain myself. Like these people are gonna figure out what it is by observing. I think it's sort of similar to like gay culture becoming more accepted into mainstream culture, in the sense that I think like a lot of the successes are just around like the interpersonal visibility. I think people came around with regard to gay issues when they came to realize that like there were people in their lives that they cared about that were gay, and then then they became sympathetic to the cause, and then more people came out as such, and then suddenly everybody has gay friends and family, and then at that point you can't really like at that point like the support is overwhelming. Yeah, pretty much everybody. I don't think I ever like really made a big deal about coming out.
Yeah. I
just like tell people, oh, this is not a monogamous relationship. I just want to avoid everybody thinking that I'm constantly cheating on people.
Did you cheat on people when you were monogamous?
Never. No, I got cheated on. I guess I just like don't need to have that much sex. I actually have gotten into monogamous relationships before where like the sex ended and I was just like, well, I guess I'll never have sex again. I was just kind of okay with that. I valued those relationships too much. I caught feelings for somebody while I was in a relationship, and then I quickly broke the relationship up and then started a relationship with somebody else, which is like sort of cheaty, but it wasn't dishonest. It comes from the situation as much as anything else, and like logistics and like the level of feelings versus like how much of this is just casual sex or whatever. To say that the relationships aren't more or less serious in one way or another is disingenuous. So I would say that there is a sort of hierarchy, but it's not an imposed hierarchy. I get to choose my own adventure.
I'm on a long list of girls who love the shit out of you. Wow.
We can cuddle. And that's how you get them.